Welcome to r/RedditRevenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Woman wanted to ruin our dinner, but we got free drinks in the respect of the restaurant owner. The second story. Offer-up guy was wasting my time and didn't buy my VR headset, so I wasted his time and blocked him. The third story. I late for my opening shift and made boss waste as much time as he made me. The first story is, don't F around when I'm eating a good steak. To put you in context, self, 22 female, 5'8", 135 pounds. Boyfriend, 26 male, 5'6", 325 pounds. Tattoo, alpha beard, twisted sense of humor. One night we decided to eat out in one of our favorite restaurants. One of the cooks there is boyfriend's best friend. He's making the best ribs in the entire world. Also, the restaurant is known for its amazing smoked meat sandwich. We decided to get seated in a more remote place of the restaurant because I'm an ex-fatty and have problem eating in public. The waiter comes to take our order, raw steak for me and a pint, or maybe more of Creamore. Boyfriend decided to have the rib sandwich, because rib sandwich, nuff said. Waiter is about 50-something years old, pretty cool, apologizing because it's Saturday night, it's pretty full. 2 middle-aged ladies are seated next to us. After a certain time, I start feeling like somebody is looking at me. If you suffer of social anxiety, you know that you always feel that way in a crowded place, so I don't really pay attention. Having a good time, holding hands, talking about the beer since we're homebrewers. I still feel looked at, start to feel anguish, looking around, seeing nothing. Feel even worse because I think that I'm starting to paranoid and I hate when it happened. Then I hear the lady next to us tell her friend, "Good Lord, I really hate it when the employee can't talk in French. Why do they have to hire so many immigrants? They're taking job opportunities from our people." The bus and hostess girl is an extremely beautiful South American girl with the most sexy accent in the world, and she's really shy, so she barely talks to the customers when she seats them, but she have a perfect French despite the accent. Finally, our meal arrives and I stop paying attention to the bee. The food is delicious as usual. It's like angels having an orgy in my mouth. Exchange food with the boyfriend. Ribs are as delicious as usual. Waiter is kind, everything is amazing. While we're eating, I hear the lady calling the waiter to her table. This smoked meat sandwich is full of fat. Well, it's pastrami, you know? Like big layer of hard chewing fat. The waiter, being his amazing self, tells her, "Oh, I'm sorry, we'll get it back to the kitchen and bring you another one free of charge." You must be pretty unlucky. We served them all evening and people keep telling us that they were fantastic. I'm sorry you felt on a bad piece. I'll be right back. This dialogue ensues. B. No, it's okay, I'll eat it anyway. Don't bother going back in the kitchen. I waited so long for it the first time, I don't want to wait again. Waiter. No, don't worry. The rush is almost over, and I'll ask the cook myself to proceed your order in priority, because you've already waited for your meal, and he didn't verify the quality of the meat before making your sandwich. B. No, it's okay. I don't mind. I'll eat it anyway. I'm not really hungry anymore anyway. All the fat in that sandwich made me sick. W. Okay then, I'll cover your meal. Do you want me to bring you a coffee, a cup of tea? We also have some delicious homemade apple pie. B. No, I'll pay for my dish. I don't want to eat nothing else from here. Waiter comes to see us, asking if we want another beer and if everything is okay. Boyfriend's telling him a little louder than usual that the food was so good here, and that we were never disappointed of our meal when we were visiting his establishment. Continue eating, barely listening to the annoying lady conversation, because steak is too delicious. Start to feel observed again, gets uncomfortable, stop eating and hold boyfriend's hand. He whispers to me, "Don't look, but the lady next to us is looking in our direction since she arrived." That's why you feel tensed. Giving quick glances at the aforementioned old bee. Yes, she's indeed looking at us and not being real subtle about it. She starts telling her friend about girls willing to go out with ugly guys for cash, basically saying they're worse than prostitutes, which I agree with, and glancing directly at me. My boyfriend got really peeved, turned around and looked at her directly in the eyes and tells her, "No, she's not with me because I'm rich, just because I have the biggest D known to mankind." We silently glanced at her until she leaves, which was done in a record time, I must say. Fast forward to the end of the meal. The waiter comes back, asking if we still have room for cake or homemade pie, and apologizes again because we had to wait almost 45 minutes for our lunch. He told us that since 2 waitresses called in sick that day, he did the waiting, but hadn't done in years, since he's now the owner of the pub and restaurant. He also apologized for the way the lady acted earlier by complaining on her meal, almost throwing a fit for pretty much nothing. Turns out the sandwich was totally fine, so we told him about what happened, and learned that she used to come at least once a week. usually drunk off her A and complain and pass comments on everyone. Since it was the first time a customer answered back to her and made her leave, he paid for our drinks and decided to tell the staff she wasn't allowed in anymore. It happened often. Not all people are that rude, but a lot of them just stare at us when we go out together. We call it the face, and when people pull the face in a noticeable manner, we either yell "the face" or I fish for cash in my purse and ask him how much for a night. The next story is, a landslide of negative experiences on OfferUp leads to me bringing someone down with me. I've always been a Craigslist guy, but I moved somewhere where Craigslist isn't popular, and it's all about OfferUp. I think OfferUp caters to much SH people, because it's designed to be used by really lazy people. It takes no effort to put up a listing, just snap a picture within the app. Most don't even have a description. And to message people, you literally just click send message, and there are already 3 pre-written phrases ready to go. Is this still available? I'd like to buy this, etc. Craigslist takes more effort. You can't put a listing without a description. There's more information to fill out. You have to email someone or put their phone number on your dial pad and call or text. OfferUp is just the worst. To say the least, dealing with people on OfferUp is a dog SH experience. I had accumulated a whole lot of pent-up bitterness at the countless people that have ghosted me, wasted my time, showed up with less money than agreed upon, the onslaught of lowballers, people that can't make up their mind about selling their own item, liars, lowballers, as they're handing me their agreed-upon money, etc. My second to most recent exchange was me driving out 30 minutes to buy a laptop waiting at a Starbucks. The guy telling me the laptop wasn't done, factory resetting. Waiting for him for hours while I did my shopping, and then finally ghosting me. I told him, if I were you, I would delete my account and take down all the listings. I then logged on to an alt account a day later, and changed my name to Anton Shigur, and messaged him about an item he had for sale. He told me yes, it was available. Then I asked him, what's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss? He left me on red, and then a day later his account was gone, or he blocked me. I don't know. I like to believe he thought he was about to be executed by a cattle euthanizer. But this wasn't the most recent event. 2 months later I found myself short on rent, and conveniently somebody messaged me that morning about a VR headset I had for sale. I was like, ah yes, this is perfect, because he seemed like a serious buyer. We were messaging back and forth all morning, asking me questions about the headset, even planned to drive out to him 30 minutes, so we could meet somewhere that was closer and more convenient to him. I asked what time we could meet. I'm available now. He said he was at school, but he'll let me know when he's on his way driving to our meetup location. I asked if he could at least give me an ETA so I can plan my day out. Leaves me on red. 3 hours go by and I realize this guy is full of SH. So I log on to an alt account and message him about an item he has for sale. Immediately he responds saying it's available. Alright, cool. I've got him nibbling on the bait. I asked if we could meet in a couple of hours, but asked if he could drive to me because I don't have a car. I choose a fake location in a suburban neighborhood about 30 minutes drive from him. Initially he leaves me on red, but then I ask him if he'll do it for an extra $30. He immediately responds yes. Alright, so I got this guy on the hook. I go about my day. Oh, and a nice surprise, my check ended up clearing at the bank, so I don't have to worry about being short on rent anymore. I'm at the bank when I get a message from him saying he's on his way. 30 minutes later, he tells me he's outside the address I gave him, 123 West F Street. I waste his time by telling him I don't see him, and oops, I gave the wrong address. It's only a block away at 456 West F Street. I take my time before checking again, and there's a message saying he's been waiting a few minutes at the correct address. I tell him, do you know what the F in West F Street stands for? He says, 4th Street? And I say, F stands for FU, you inconsiderate SH. Next time, think twice before wasting people's time. Would it have taken much effort to at least send a message saying, sorry, I'm no longer interested? You're not the main character. People have lives. Get effed. Hook, line, and sinker, baby. He responds, what? And then I block him. And I block him from my main account too, haha. Oh man, that was such a satisfying moment. All the pent-up bitterness from all the BS I've dealt with from the scum of OfferUp just released at once. Hope he thinks twice before doing that again. And the last story is, waste my time? I'll waste your time. This little revenge took place last week, and I've been meaning to share it since. First, some background though. I work at a restaurant, and my boss is for the most part alright. He's easygoing, and since the restaurant is family-owned, he's fairly lenient on stuff for the most part. However, he has a tendency to like messing with the employees. One of his favorite things to do is wasting our time and keeping us there longer than we need to. Up until now, he hadn't messed with me too much. Well, last week a customer left a tablet on a table, and I found it and turned it into the manager. Later that day, the customer came back to pick up the tablet and gave the manager $20 to give to the person that found it as a thank you for being honest. 2 days later, I come in for my shift, and they tell me about it and told me they'd give it to me before I leave, since we were fairly busy at the moment. Well, my shift ended, and my boss was still busy working on stuff. The other manager on duty wasn't there the day I found the tablet, so he had no idea about the 20 bucks nor where they were. I figured they were probably under the cash drawer in the main register, but the manager insisted on asking the owner, our boss, just to be on the safe side. Well, the boss kept saying he was busy, and then asked the manager to help him. Fair enough. About 10 minutes later, the owner's wife and daughter get there, and they just kind of stand around and ask me what I'm waiting for. They ask him to just give me the money, but he keeps saying that he's really busy and that I gotta wait. The thing is, all he really had to do was say that the money was in the register, and his wife, daughter, or other manager could have gotten it out and given it to me. After 20 minutes of waiting, I was finally fed up and left. I went to the tea house next door to buy some tea before going back home. As I sat in the tea house, I suddenly realized that he had made me wait for over 20 minutes just for the heck of it. The thing that bothered me though is that it would have taken him less than 2 minutes to walk to the register, reach for the cash, hand it to me, and go back to what he was doing. Oh, and I knew for a fact that the stuff he was working on wasn't ultra super, it needs to get done right now important. Soon enough, a wrath overcame me that could only be placated by the pettiest of revenges. I started formulating my plan. Went back to the restaurant where he told me in a mockingly fashion that I left right before he finished, and got up to get the money. He went to the register to get the money, and while he did so I went ahead and double-checked my clock out time to see exactly just how long he made me wait. Turns out he made me wait 25 minutes. On to the revenge. Originally I planned to just show up 25 minutes late for my shift the next day, but him mocking me before handing me the money made me realize that wasn't enough, and I needed to be more petty still. You see, my shift the next day was going to be as a second waiter to come in, meaning that me showing up late would only really inconvenience the waiter that opened up. However, my shift the day after that was an opening shift, which meant that if I didn't show up, the owner would have to either close the restaurant till he could find a waiter to cover me, or we would have to stay and cover for me. Worst case scenario for me, I would get fired, and that'd be fine, since I've been waiting to quit this job for a while now. But I doubt I'd get fired anyway, since the restaurant is short on waiters at the moment, so they really need my help for the time being. So anyway, I went ahead and acted like nothing happened, and got through my shift the next day. The following day, I went ahead and treated myself to some nice breakfast, while I was supposed to be getting ready for my shift. I walked in exactly 25 minutes late. When my boss asked me what had happened, I just looked him in the eyes and said, "Sorry, I was too busy." He quieted down for a second or two, and told me to finish opening up, since he was late for an appointment with somebody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.